Sabres, the Canadiens in overtime with the counter, and they go to the Eastern Conference Final as they win it 3-2 with 8:38 remaining in the overtime period.
Damn. This one hurts, folks. This Buffalo Sabres were one goal away from going to the Eastern Conference Finals. This is Gatesy's Win More, Lots More, presented by Salino Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. And this one hurts. The Sabres play a great game. They did. You look outside of that first period where they gave some good chances and were down 2-0. They played a great game, and I think this game, I feel like I said it a couple times in this playoff run, but this game specifically is the epitome of the Sabres season, where they go down 2-0 early. I'm not going to talk about this game too much in depth. I want to talk about this season. But they go down 2-0 early. It feels like the world's ending around them, and they just stuck to it. They worked hard. They outcompeted the Canadiens. They got one back. Jordan Greenway tipping from Matthias Samuelsson, which was great. Got Keybank back into it. You go into the third period down 1, and your captain, Rasmus Dahlin, ties it off a great view from Owen Power. You get to overtime, and again, the Sabres were playing so well. They were limiting the high danger chances. They had chances of their own. There was so many moments that were a what if from this game. I know people are upset about the kick on one of them, which I think that's a good goal. The early whistle on Malenstein in the third period where he gets it in. You had chances to win the game and didn't. Tage Thompson had a few looks, especially in overtime. You had a 2-on-1 with Benson and can't really get a shot off. And it sucks. You look at UPL as well, who played phenomenal up until that goal that goes in. And that just hurts even more. This whole postseason's been the biggest roller coaster for Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. And then to have it end like that is just, that one hurts. That was the game. Sabres lose. But I want to talk about the season, because as much as this sucks, and I'm sad now, this season was the greatest season of my hockey fandom, of covering, of watching, of believing in the Buffalo Sabres. This season was it. I do these videos after every game, and it was bad in December. Felt like another year, going into year 15 of a playoff drought, but this team did it. They came together. They came from last place in the Eastern Conference, the only team below 500. And they won the Atlantic. They won a playoff series against the Boston Bruins. They get to 7 games in Montreal, get to overtime, and can't get the job done then. It's hard because this game, as much as it was the, epitome of this season, how it ended was not. This season was not one of heartbreak, of sadness, of everything, crumbling down, of Buffalo being, having heartbreak game after game, year after year. This season was about the Buffalo Sabres returning to the city of Buffalo, returning to the mindset, returning to the homes, the television screens, the livelihoods, the hearts of hockey fans across Western New York and even the NHL. For most of my life, I was embarrassed to be a Sabres fan. It's not something you're proud of. It's not like something you're toting around big week for the Sabres. But this year it was. This year, the amount of people I had in my personal life reach out to me and just text me about the team was incredible. Doing these videos every game has become one of my favorite parts about my life, my day. It's been a blast talking about the Sabres team, seeing the growth in them. So I want to talk a little bit more about it and get in depth, but this is probably an hour and a half, 2 hours I'm recording this since, overtime ended. And I was thinking of how do I even talk about this season? But I want to go back to one of my videos this season after the Sabres lost 7-4 to the Calgary Flames in Game 3 of their Western Conference road trip. So let's watch the start of that video together. Buffalo Sabres have not won a road game in regulation in 251 days now. They're now 2-9-2 on the road this season after losing 7-4 to the Calgary Flames. Being swept by the Flames. The Calgary Flames, not a good team this year, and neither are the Buffalo Sabres. And that comment I made. We've come a long way, folks, both in terms of, this, but mainly this. The belief in this team is back not only for myself, I would say for you at home. As much as tonight sucked, no one in their right mind had any hope, any idea of what this season was going to turn into. And this loss is going to stay with me for a very long time. It is going to be an incredibly long off season. And it's going to be an interesting one for the Buffalo Sabres. This playoff, run that they had really set the tone for what this team's future is going to look like. The big one, obviously, was Alex Tuch. He's the, touted one of, if not the top UFA going into the offseason. And it was basically a tryout for him this postseason to get his contract of the $10+ million he wanted for 7 years. It's hard to do when you go pointless in a 7-game series against Montreal. That's tough to do, especially when he's a -8 in that series. So I don't know. Is this the last game we've seen of the Alex Tuch era in Buffalo? I tend to think so. With the other guys that need to get paid, it feels like it. Someone's going to pay big money for Alex Tuch. He had 33 goals, 33 assists this season, in the regular season. And I want to look back on the Alex Tuch of it all too, because it was a huge success for the Sabres. It really was. From where this team, this organization was when Alex Tuch came in, and I would say the lowest point in the franchise. Losing Jack Eichel, having nothing to show for it, him going on to win a Stanley Cup year after. It was a low point for Buffalo. And Alex Tuch was the bright spot for a long time here. He was a guy that, a lot of people felt, was going to have the C at some point when Okposo left, and there's some bad years in there. But look at the Sabres now. And it sucks they couldn't get to the top of the mountain with Alex Tuch here. And who knows, maybe he stays. I don't know. It doesn't feel likely after this. I don't want to assume, but I also want to reminisce. If this is the last time we see of him, it was a hell of a run. Alex Tuch changed the culture here. I'm not in the room, but how this team was before and after, the energy he brought, it changed. Buffalo became, a place where people believed they could win. It took a lot of time, but look at this team. Look at where they were. So many points in this season, they should have been down and out. They should have given up. They should have let it snowball and let the season come to a close. So many opportunities for that. It didn't happen. You look at everything before December. Last place in the East, only team under 500. You've heard it a million times. So many times throughout the course of the season as well. Anytime the Sabres lost, is there going to be a losing streak coming up? You look at right before the Olympic break, the Sabres lose 3 or 4 going into it. After going on a great run, a lot of people are thinking, Magic was great. They're going to come back from the Olympic break and not have any juice. They had the juice. You look at how they were mid-March, losing a handful of games. They may, just be a wild card team. No, they're going to win the Atlantic. You look at the Boston series. The Sabres lost game 2. The amount of people that thought the sky was falling and the Sabres were dead was astronomical, and it goes to show they haven't watched this team all season. They found their game. They won that series in 6. And you look at this series especially too. It was a dark one at times for Buffalo, where the fact that this series went to 7 with how they played in a lot of these games, it goes to show how good they are when they're on. It sucks kind of the ebbs and flows of this postseason, especially with, some of the bigger names for Buffalo. But as much as that has been a detriment to this team, so much more has been gained in seeing the stars that you have on this roster in Zach Benson, in Josh Stone. We saw, the coming out party really of Owen Power as well to be a mainstay on this team. He was target number one basically all season of get him out of town, this guy sucks. The progression Owen Power made in his game this year, phenomenal. Truly phenomenal. We saw Bowen Byram go through spurts of being, a top defenseman, it feels like, in the league, where, towards the end of December, he was on a generational run. In the postseason, too, he was playing great. Look at Matthias Samuelsson. Matthias Samuelsson had people calling for him to be cut this past offseason. Look at that. And the season he had, incredible. I could go basically on every single guy on this roster, for the most part, and how they've been a big part of the Sabres season. A guy like Jack Quinn, the last guy left of the kids line, had an up and down year, but a career year at that. And, the playoff scoring wasn't there, but he had the chance, he had the opportunity, put himself in position. He just couldn't get him to fall. He had 2 in Game 6, got the Sabres to a Game 7, and, that was it. We saw Konsta Helenius in this series earn a spot basically for life for Buffalo. It's either he makes it happen in Buffalo or it's going to be elsewhere. He was phenomenal. He is a mainstay here for the long term. He had 2 goals in the 4 games he played. He was inserted in this lineup at a desperate time for this team in this series against Montreal. And he not only stepped in and filled a role, he drove this Sabres offense. He basically revived Jack Quinn and Jason Zucker in the playoffs. They were basically nowhere to be found. After, that line of McLeod were great all regular season, Helenius stepped in and brought them back to being top players on this team, being a top line on this team. They were everywhere, especially tonight. And as much as this game, the ending of it sucks, some of the, smaller negative things about this playoff run, things that popped up, the positives for me greatly outweigh the negatives. They really do. It's gonna be a very long off season. It is. But for the first time in my life, I have genuine expectations for the Buffalo Sabres going into next year, and that's incredible. It really is. This year with this team it felt like everything I could have wanted. I've waited years for this team, basically my entire life, for this team to get to this spot. And they're not even at the top of the mountain yet. And the run they went on this year was great. It was. Yeah. And on a personal note too, I want to thank, you guys at home for watching. I watched back through a lot of my earlier videos, over this playoff run, just look back on, and it's been an incredible year. The support I've gotten from you all at home, the growth of this channel, whether you're watching on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, it's been incredible. And that goes to show how much Buffalo, Western New York care about this organization and team. And now they have a reason to do so. So I want to thank you guys for letting me be a part of that this season. Everyone commenting on these videos, telling me how you feel. It truly makes my day every time. I love making these videos, and just because the season's over doesn't mean that's going to stop. Personal side too, I'm moving to Buffalo on Wednesday. Actually, I've been living in Pittsburgh the past 5 years. I went to school down here. I graduated in 2025, stayed here for a year, and heading back, work with Trainwreck and Bruckman Media. It's exciting. And this past year has been difficult, especially with, I've been planning a move throughout this playoff series, which has been the biggest thing of my career and biggest thing in my life, while trying to balance, life, being here, being with my friends, my girlfriend, having her try to understand all of the stupid stuff I do with this, between the beard and the late nights and the early hours and, always on the clock and, Beck Malenstein, it's a lot. So thank you guys for being patient, for enjoying this ride together. Again, this isn't the end. I posted that video today of the go-ahead possibility. They should have just done it. They should have done it. Why did we make a ruckus of it? Why did rough wear this? Why? But I want to do more videos like that, more hyper-focused, more individual, not just a game recap, but specific things. So we're going to do one on Alex Tuck, Zach Benson. We're going to do a lot of player stuff, I think, over a little bit, what this offseason is going to look like. But I want to know what you want videos about for the Sabres, how you want this content to be. Thinking 10 to 15 minute videos in this style, but let me know, because I'm nothing without you guys, especially to the setup. I don't want to show you how the sausage is made, but if you made it this far, I think you deserved it. This is the setup I use to record these videos down here in the basement of my college apartment. And yeah, this is this is my last one down here, which is I don't know, it's kind of sad, bittersweet. And yeah, it really wraps up the season as a whole. So thank you guys again for an incredible year. It sucks. This loss sucks. I thought this team could have gone on a run, and they did. I mean, got to 7 wins. They were an overtime goal away from going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, so folks, thank you again. I'm going to wrap this up now. Comment down below your thoughts. Please, if you're still here, thank you. Like the video, comment, subscribe. But I do want to know your thoughts on the season this year. What's in the future? What you expect Jarmo Kekalainen to do in his first off season as a general manager of the Buffalo Sabres? Yeah. Folks, what a year it was. Thank you again for allowing me to be a part of it. I'll see you all very soon with some fun off-season videos. But take some time, Buffalo Sabres fans. If you're Montreal people, it's a hell of a series. It really wasn't, though. None of these games were really close until this Game 7. It was right there. I want the Sabres team to learn a lot from this year. Folks, thanks again. Enjoy your night. Enjoy your off season. And let's go Sabres.